All right, so majority of us are back, so we can then start. Just give me 1 second. All right, can you folks just open your systems? We don't need the Ubuntu machines for this, even the Windows machines will do. So what we need to basically do is download a software called as Maltego. I'm just sharing the link with all of you. If you can see this over here, you should be able to basically just come to Windows and select an exe or exe plus Java as you see fit, and just install this. Just download this and you can install this. Additionally, I'm just pasting a link for the registration for the community edition. You can just fill up the details over here and you'll receive an activation email on your email ID. If you want to use a temporary email, you can just open the temp email and you should see this there. You can even use a temporary email account here and just register for this. Once you're done and everything is downloaded and installed, you should see a screen like this. So just let me know once everybody is here and we can then start. If anybody is facing any issues, just let me know. I can help you out.
Dhruv, one thing. We have to download exe plus Java or exe only?
Anything will work. Both are fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what even I wanted to check because my mic was not working at that time, and so it's a standalone. Sorry, I joined a bit late through. So this is a standalone application, right?
Yes, it is. You don't need the Ubuntu machine. You can just install it on your Windows machine, either on the base OS or even on your own system.
Okay, got it. And also, why there is two exe file rather than one, one with Java? Is there any special extension to that?
Nothing like that. This basically exists because if some people don't want to run the base application on Java, so they can run it on that as well. For
Oh,
some previous operating systems of Windows, the exe doesn't work directly. It requires Java also to run.
got it. Thanks. So we have to run Multigo CE, right? Which is a free version.
That is correct.
Okay, I'm on. So I have an interesting choice over here. One, it says open blank graph and let me play around. Open
Mhm.
an example graph and go away. I have done this before. Which one should I select?
You can select any of them, doesn't make a difference.
Okay, so we will be building it from fresh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me know once everybody's here, please. Also, those of you who have completed the setup, you can just open your VirusTotal account and install your key over here. So you'll see something over here. You can just click an install button and it'll ask for your key. You can just enter your key over there. Rest of the things I'll just get installed by you in the meantime. Has everybody installed the tool? Anybody stuck?
Yeah, I've installed, but I'm on the license agreement and all those things where it is login and all those are required.
All right. Okay. Once you're done, just let me know.
Still mine is downloading.
For those of you who are done and are here, you can just click a plus icon on this top left. You'll see a blank graph come up. And in this blank graph, what you can do is just drag and drop a domain. Double click it and you can just enter any domain name you want to search for. And you can play around with the transformations over here. Okay, has everybody been able to download it? Folks, anybody who's stuck?
Just installed and logged in Multigo.
Okay, all right. Are you on the screen then?
Sorry, shall I share the screen?
Yes, please. If you're not seeing this, then let me know.
Well, Dhruv, I cannot. Is it shared?
I can't see your screen.
Okay, sorry. Thought that. Yes, I shared the screen.
Just give me a moment. Still can't see it. Just waiting. Can everybody else see Abhishek's screen, or is it only me who can't?
No, sir, it's not visible.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Let me try again. Is it?
Still not be able to see it.
Sorry.
Yep, got it. Okay, if you're on the screen, then perfect. You can just wait here. This is where ideally all of us should be.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else who's not here? All right. Okay. Now, why I made you install this tool is because it's very handy in terms of sourcing information about either a person, individual, domain, anything that you want to search about in multiple different threat intels, etc. Right? We're currently using the community edition, so some of the paid feeds are not available to us. But even with the individual free feeds, we have a lot of information that we can capture. Right? Now, how do we do that? Is you can just click on the top left here. You'll see a plus icon on the top left which says create a new graph, and you can just click on that. You'll come to something called as a new graph over here, which will be blank. Now click on domain and just drag and drop the domain onto your screen. Over here, you can just double click it and change the domain name to anything that you want. Completely up to you. Anything that you want, you can change it to. Have you all followed till here? Folks, are we all on the screen? Hello? Can you people hear me? Yeah. Okay. Going forward, what you can do is you can right click this and you will see, you can just click on transforms over here, right? If you can't see this, you can just click on this all transforms bit over here and you will come and see something over here that what all transformations are currently available to you. You might not be seeing such an exhaustive list. I was just in the meantime installing more transformations, which I will just also make you do. But the standard transformation list should be available to everybody from here. Is this available? Okay. Anyway,
Well, I have
from
a very basic question. How to get this domain name? So I picked it. It came
so you
federva.com. Yeah,
drag and drop this. You can just double click this and change the domain name over here.
got it.
Okay. If you right click this, you must be seeing a list of standard transformations, right? You can click on DNS from domain. Over this, you can select either the MX or the NS records that you want. It will start populating these details and giving it to you. So right now what I've done is I've just clicked the MX and NS servers from here, right? You can just experiment with any of the others. It will basically go and find this information for you and keep populating all this information down. So for now, what we've done is for google.com, we have received information in terms of the MX servers, the NS servers, right? Further, you can experiment with any of the others as well, whether it gives you any information. All right. Once I have the NS servers in the MX and the DNS servers, in case you want the DNS servers to resolve to any IP addresses, right? What all IP addresses are available over here? You will be able to come and just click on it and say resolve to IP. If you scroll down, you will see the IP address that is available. Now for Google, you might not understand this. You might understand a little better for your organization. So if you want to do it for your org, you can even do it for your organization. That's fine. Similarly, for all the others, if you want to resolve them to IP addresses from DNSs, you can just click on it. It will give you the IP address for that. Okay. Any doubts still here?
No.
All right. If you want to fetch, say, domain owner details from Whois, etc., or IBM, Watson, and all, you can just click on this. It will again start fetching those details for you. All right. You can again try to search for Whois as well. Additionally, if you want ownership details in terms of phone numbers, you can select that. It will give you these details here. Right? If you want to enrich the phone numbers in terms of getting more details, you can also geotag it or verify it whether it's a fraud number or not. Right? So there is something called as IPQS, which basically does fraud number checks, etc. for us. So if you want to do that, you can just do an enrich phone number as well, and you can get tags, etc. for it also. Now, in terms of tags, it can give you details in terms of what carrier is it? Is it active? Is it a landline? Where is it hosted? And all those details it will give you.
Okay.
All right. Why am I making you do all this? Is because when we want to start capturing details for, say, an organization, now ideally you would be going to multiple different thread feeds, thread links to get this information and source it, right? The best part here is that for your organization or for any other organization you're trying to dig information about, you can simply start getting that information here itself. Now, how is this information helpful? Is because all these information that we have over here, right? We can actually start using this for our CTI feeds. If you don't know your threat landscape, you will not know what all information is actually available out there, right? What I'm actually doing is I'm actually trying to source out information from each step to see what all info I can get about my company in terms of details available.
Okay.
All right. Further, you can keep digging in terms of what all IPs, what all phones, what all URLs are available here. All these standard transformations are currently available to you. You can basically start picking up all this information from here itself. Okay.
Okay.
So just try out these transformations till then, and I will then make you get into the more details about how we can use this for CTI. Once you have sourced all this information, right? I'll give you a couple of minutes just to get or source all the standard transformations and just play around with them till then. Post that, we'll start getting into thread feeds, etc. as well, and how to get the exact details from the thread feeds for all this information that we have. All right. If you can just come back to something good as home over here, right? You will see multiple transform hub partners that are available to use with Maltego, right? Now, the advantage here is just try installing a few of them like sticks to abuse IPDB. I'll give you my key over here so that you can use it. Just give me a second so that you don't have to keep generating the keys. So you can use that in the abuse IPDB one. This is the Alien Vault OTX key if you want to insert that and use it. I've just gone ahead and generated them using free accounts, so I haven't done anything apart from that. I'm just saving you time in terms of going and generating them. This is my virus total key if you want. So more transformations that you add over here when you're actually searching information, say for an IP address, etc. And if you come to all transformations, you'll see all those transformations come up over here, right? For IP info, etc. as well. You will see the details come up over here, right? Now IP info will give me some more details in terms of where it's hosted, what is the SNDN of the IP, etc. and the DNS name, right? Now this I've got from the transformation for IP info. All right, so you can just continue, keep adding more and more information over here, right? Or more and more transformations, and then you can keep using them here. If you want to see this IP address to sticks, you can also take that there, right? Have you been able to chart something out? Folks, have you been able to chart something out till now? No? Yes?
Actually, my antivirus got is deleting this application after a while.
Srini, do it on Labs PC. Same thing was happening for me, so I did it on Lab PC. It keeps deleting the bin file, right?
Yeah.
At least we know it works.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi folks, can you hear me? Sorry, I lost my internet. I'm on my G, so I'm not sure how well you can hear me, but let's see. Okay. Okay. Can you show me the graph of where and how it's looking like? Folks, can anybody show me the graph, how it's looking like? Anybody done anything on that?
Let me share my screen.
Sure.
Just a second. But if I try to run VirusTotal, it is blocking me.
It is
Like
blocking.
Google has blocked that VirusTotal anything from them. If you see, banned from entity Google.
You one second, I think you must have reached the limit. Just try some other site. Just host some other domain. Just pull down any other domain from the left and just try it.
Here, one second.
On the left hand side, you'll see some other domain, right? So just pull any other domain down and see it.
Left hand side, and
Just click plus.
oh, sorry.
On the screen. Where is your screen gone to the left? Okay, just click on plus on the top left.
Okay.
Where is your other left hand side screen gone?
Let me check.
Just go to entities on top. Just click on new entity type. This is not now you can resolve that. You are not seeing your entity palette on the left.
Got it.
Okay, awesome.
Domain.
Just change it to anything else, whatever you want, or just leave it to this one. Just right click. Yeah, just you can try Reva.
Oh my god. Let me take it again. Shall I right click and try anything?
Just try Virus Total API.
Ban. User not active. Same error is coming.
You guys had taken out your Virus Total APIs, right?
Yeah, the API key is with me. One second.
Yeah, so just put your API key instead of mine. If you
Yeah, I have put mine only.
okay, you put yours, just try mine then.
Okay.
I'll
I
share
need
it.
to go to home, right?
on the virus total API key, just scroll down. Just say details, settings, and just paste my one.
Okay, one thing. This is alien world. No, virus total one.
Yeah, just try it out now.
Yeah, it is coming. Yeah. Let me try it on Google also.
Yeah.
Anything is coming. Yeah, it is coming.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Anybody else has their graphs ready? Anybody else done something on a different domain? Folks, anybody else who's done something in a different domain or used any other domain? Okay.
Well, I've done it. I've opened on Amazon .in. Okay.
Sure. Just share your screen and show us.
But okay, but I've not copied my key.
That's okay. You can use
Okay,
mine.
just a minute.
Paste it in the chat.
Just a minute. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen. Anything interesting you found?
Sorry, in fact, I think it is a lot of lag. So I just removed my screen, then you were able to see that.
That's okay. Anything interesting you found out?
No. I'm just trying to understand what is it actually, and I have to first put your key.
Okay.
Just give me 2 minutes.
Anybody else who has this ready? All right. Anybody who has any questions on this?
Another.
Okay. Right. Just give me 1 second and. Okay. Just a very small topic I need to cover with you is on writing effective threat reports, right? And what we can do on that part, right? How do we exactly write effective threat reports? On this front, so basically what we need to do is that we have multiple ways of reading a report, etc. as well. We've discussed multiple ways that we are consuming these reports, but tomorrow if we have to write these reports as well, there are certain things that we need to take care of. Folks, can you just mute yourself, please?
I'm sorry, I think I'm in the issue.
No problem. Yeah. Yeah. So there are a couple of things that we need to take care of when we are writing these reports as well, right? And there are some things that we need to structure our words correctly, because things when we write them down and another person is reading them, we have to take care of a certain aspect as to how we write, what we write, how we writing these details, etc. as well. Okay, so we need to just present all our ideas in a way that we are the readers ourselves, right? And if we were reading my report, which I'm writing, uh, I would understand what I'm trying to convey through the ideas that I'm trying to write. Okay. So, can any of you spot any issues here?
HTTPS. There are two unstandard ports of there. HTTPS.
Okay. Anything else?
And then I think there is an IP that's not correct actually. The third, fourth row, destination IP, established IP.
It's
Mhm.
5.8, like 172.18.14.25.66.
Okay. Anything else?
I think you are looking after the report with this spelling corrections also. No?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, code writing has to be about spelling and English as well.
Communicating, it's communicating.
Yeah,
Yep.
communicating and a form mention,
Permission.
like there are no spaces,
Sure.
and the alignment is also not clear.
Perfect. Okay. So I think you spotted most of them. Number one, format. Number two being around details that we provided. When we're talking about HTTPS connections itself, we really don't need to bother about any other connections that we're showing. Capitalization, wordiness, and
Yeah,
spelling, something that we need to look at, right? So if I was to restructure this in a way that it makes most sense, what do you think about this now?
yeah, it is okay.
Well formatted.
It is well
So
formatted.
idea is whenever we are writing these kind of reports, right, although we have a lot of details, and I've also seen this in people when they provide screenshots, right, they give you the screenshot of their entire screen, whereas a focus needs to only be on a single line in that entire screen, right? It doesn't make sense to do that, because whenever anybody else is reading it, although you know what you're looking for, but when anybody else is reading that, it doesn't make sense. Okay, so idea is that we crunch the information in such a way that when the reader is reading it, he has no confusion in his mind or her mind. And whenever you are providing samples of, say, details in terms of any kind of connection tables or malware details, etc., focus only on the information that you need and you need to talk about, right? If you start focusing on information which is available in the entire page, people will get lost as to what exactly is required to be read. Also, whenever we're writing these reports, right, you need to take care of the fact that everybody is going to be different in the terms of skill set level and how people are going to be interpreting your report, right? So we need to make sure that whatever we need them to understand from the report, right, we need to place those correctly in terms of points, and they need to be brought out in the entire report, right? For example, I don't want people to miss out, say, how they were creating a transaction, or how a file transacted write was happening, or how the write file and integration section was happening. There's a way to bring that out in the report itself, so that even if people miss up whatever they're reading on the first 4 or 5 lines, they will actually look at your bullet points and read those things which are important, right? So number one, whenever you are writing any report, right, your summary needs to be very apt. It needs to be summed up in a way that people, if they read your summary in itself, they have an idea about what they need to expect, etc., right? The second thing is that the first sentence of each paragraph should be the summary of it. Okay. If you open any threat intelligence report and you go through this, you will pay attention and you will see that every first sentence that you're reading of the paragraph acts like its summary, right? The details are then provided thereafter. The ideas need to be sneaked up into the heading, so that however, etc., things were happening in terms of TTPs need to be made clear in the form of the heading itself, right? Whenever you are providing information, a table of contents need to be provided, and anything extra has to go in appendixes, right? It can't be, you can't have 4 to 5 to 6 screenshots of 4 to 5 tables underneath each other just to prove that you're writing, whatever you're writing on top actually has that information, right? So what is required stays in the report. Whatever is arbitrary and is extra, or you think it might be needed, you can put in the appendix. The next part is, we don't need reports to be, we're not writing essays here. We don't need them to be very heavy on words, right? You can cut out almost 60 to 70% of the words that you've written in the first go of your report itself, where you will try to define multiple words by using, English words to define technical skills, which is not actually required. To give you an example, in this itself, you can cut off so many words which are actually not required, right? Now, this basically is done because people, when they're going through these reports, even you yourself, right, you will have a very short time span to, number one, read this, and secondly, people's patience will vary out. So if you're going to be writing things which don't make sense, and which you're probably repeating yourself in terms of English words or sentences, they will actually not make sense, and we need to cut those things down. Okay. This was what was written earlier. Okay, this is what we have written it now. So we reduced it almost to 40%, which is huge. Okay, so make sure whatever you're writing makes sense in terms of technicalities as well, is grammatically correct, but you don't have to write unnecessary words in terms of explaining yourself or repeating technical jargons when you're doing that here. Okay, so whenever you are doing this report writing, you should ideally shorten your paragraphs by at least 20%. You should be getting to the point much faster. Scrutinize every word, and by default, when in doubt, you should just be cutting it out, right? You should not be writing it there when you say, hey, I'm not sure whether this should be part of the report or not. Okay. Now, as a reader, you have been reading multiple details on the net about various reports that have been coming out, right? Now, what would you want to be knowing about these kind of details in terms of when you're reading these headlines? Okay, what would you want to know in terms of a reader? So is it that you want to know the number of infections that have happened? Do you want to know the adversary groups? Do you want to know the impact? Do you want to know where all has it spread? Do you want to know the timeline of the impact? Do you want to know the business obligation against it? Do you want to know the dollars spent against it? So there are multiple aspects that people would want to know about reading certain headlines. So that's why it's very important that we structure the head that we make in our reports in a way that it makes sense to everybody. We divulge as much details as we want, but keep it very crisp. Okay. So basically, you have to keep your objectives and intent there, right? You have to keep the opportunities there. You have to also look at the broader context, which is related to your organization, how you're going to be looking to mitigate that, and what kind of methods have you used in terms of writing this report so that people can rely on your report, right? Why people rely on, say, FireEye etc. reports are because they know there is a certain structure to it and they're following certain frameworks in order of writing that report. They're not just arbitrarily capturing data and writing it. Now, the last part of this is that when you're trying to explain to your readers about specifically techniques, right? Try to write whether people were an advanced like an advanced attack was happening or it was somebody who was a newbie, right? Uh, what was their attack infrastructure like? When you're describing malwares, etc., right? The tactics that you use, you have to be looking at how people were trying to evade tools, right? How people were using, say, fileless methods or injection codes, or how people were trying to build in, say, trusted tools into, like, say, macros, etc. How they were trying to evade your systems that are there. Now, what type of details you will mention in your report will again be dependent on the audience that you're circulating it. If you're writing it to a business person, you will basically be writing just a crunch of it. If you're circulating it to technical folks as a vendor or somebody, you will be then writing it in much more detail. So always know who your readers are going to be. You need to question that even before you start writing your report out. Okay. One way to describe technical readers, right? The ability of a malware sample to succeed. So if you just go through this, so this is an extremely technical report in terms of how you would want to present it to technical readers, not in the sense that people who are in the security industry, right? If you start mentioning hashes over here, if you start mentioning evasioning techniques, if you start mentioning TTPs, etc. over here, you will lose people who are not in the cybersecurity industry. They will know what you're talking about, but people apart from that who are still technically sound will not understand what you're writing. So things which they will understand, things which they can correlate to, those things need to be mentioned over here. There is also something called as a rating sheet, right? Now, what the rating sheet does is that it helps you to understand and get a rating on your report on what you need to write about them, right? What kind of details are you going to be capturing them? You can get people to rate your reports or you can rate other people's reports as well. So idea is, as a community, we basically start asking for feedback from people as to what kind of details have they understood or have they not. And also you can also provide feedback on people's reports. So when we say that reports need to be reviewed or peer reviewed, it's the best place to go get it done. So there are 5 words that we look at in terms of looking at and connecting with our readers, which is basically structure. You need to look for information, right? The words need to be cut out, tone needs to be fine, and the information that you are providing needs to be apt. So these are just some like links that you can watch in terms of looking at what threat info sheets you can get or how you can improve your report writing. So whenever you do have time, you can visit any of these links in case you're interested in report writing. Not many people go into this industry where they're actually writing reports for threat intelligence and malware, etc. But in case you're interested in that field, you can look at this. Any questions on this? All right. What we'll do is we'll take a quick 10-minute break. Once you're back, we'll start the quiz. It's for 45 minutes. Oh, sorry, it was for an hour. I'm sorry. Uh, and after that, we'll just discuss the quiz once and then we can take it forward from there.
Okay. How many questions are there? Two?
There are 40 questions here. I had initially made it 45 minutes. I've extended it to 1 hour because I just feel that will give you some more time. From my side, you're free to look at whatever information you want. You're free to look at Google, etc. as well. I don't have a problem. But the more fairer way that you do it, it'll help you in the long run. Pranav, you can enable the quiz. So whoever wants to start it right now can also do it if they don't want a break. If they want a break, you can officially start it at 4.
Enabled, sir. They can try to start.
All right, perfect. So those of you who want to start it right now can do it. Those of you who want a break and want to start it at 4, you can do that then. Folks, those of you who are here can start the quiz now.
Okay.
Pranav, my that quiz is closed.
Did it end automatically?
Yes. I was in middle of that. It ended.
Okay, so how many did you attend?
Sorry?
How many questions did you attend? Like when did it?
Just now, actually, I attended almost half of the questions.
Oh, okay. Can you try again now?
Okay. Oh, I have to start.
Are you able to attempt?
Yeah. But okay. I'll get some time, right? Because I had to start from the first.
Yeah, sure, no issues.
Yeah.
Folks, how many of us have completed now?
I have completed it.
Okay, just let me check. So those of you who are done, we'll be stopping here only today. In case you want to stay back and discuss the quiz, I'll be discussing it in a bit, but I'll just wait for everybody to finish before that. Srinivas, I see you're attempting it a second time. Any specific reason for that?
Yeah, it got closed.
Yeah, but I see that you spent 1 hour on the quiz, right? So I think that's why it's got closed only.
Oh.
You started it at 3:48, it finished at 4:48. It was a 60-minute quiz.
I thought it got closed because of some error. I was in the middle.
No, the time was 1 hour.
Dhruv,
Yeah.
should it be completed today itself?
Sorry.
The quiz, should it be complete now itself?
Yeah, it's in the class only.
Yeah, because I told Pranav also today there is some kind of like a network issue. They're changing the optical fiber. So my internet is very unstable.
Okay.
So can I get an extension or something? Probably by end of day or something?
Okay, I mean, for quizzes, it's a little hard to do, yeah, because the answers are static, right?
Okay. Got it. So here it says the cutoff is 8:44. So do I have time till then, or now itself I have to do it? Because the problem is if I get somewhere in middle and got cut, eventually it will submit automatically. That's the reason.
You can't connect via 4G or something?
My 4G network is much more worse.
Okay.
All right, let me check and I will start attempting now itself.
Folks, then we will be discussing this, I think, starting our next class only because I still see there are a couple of folks who still have quite some time left. So we'll probably take the discussions in the beginning of the next class. So those of you who are done, I mean, we can stop here then.
Okay, Dhruv. Thank you.
Thanks.
So since we are doing it next week, the discussion, so can I get it?
Yep, I'll extend it till about 8 o'clock, but then just make sure that you attempt it today.
Awesome. Yep, I'll do that. Thanks.
Perfect. But I'll just extend the time for this till about 8 or 8:30 max.
Okay, sir, sure. Sir, we are done for today, right?
Sorry?
We are done for today, right?
Yeah, we're done for today after the quiz.
Yes. I'll be stopping the recording.
Sure.